Welcome back to the silly season, unconfirmed rumors, and things that are happening in the F1. It's Wednesday. Welcome to Indiana Jones's program once again. Let's start with the unconfidential. Is this working? Okay, so first of all, we all know we have an economical budget for this year of the F1 season, and there is a budget that all the teams agreed to fulfill for the season, which would be 140 million, excluding salaries for the drivers and stuff. However, due to the war and due to the increase of the cost of energy, such as gas, for example, that they have to buy from most countries in the European Union have to buy from the USA instead of Russia, for example, which the price is 3 times the price. That's the real theft of the war. Anyway, the factories and teams have quite problems with that and the foreseen future, as Christian Horner said that maybe some teams will have to be skipping the last 4 or 5 races of the season due to economical difficulties to fulfill and meet that budget of the F1 season. More certainly, they said that it was going to be like around 7 teams would have to do that. Will the F1 do something about it? We don't know. The freight cost is really high, the energy is really high, they have to pay the bills, they have to do all this, so it might be a real problem towards the end of the season. Not to talk about 2023, when in theory the F1 is going to reduce the budget to 135 million. Next one, Kyalami back. Looks like the F1 is actually quite advanced in sealing a deal with the South African race track. There has been also other talks and rumors that maybe in Cape Town there was going to be, but the news is that the one in Kyalami would be the one coming back to F1. When? We are not certain yet for the date, but should be quite close in the future. As we know, F1 has been trying to bring more races to the calendar, up to 30 races, which for me it's way too much. This is the racetrack in Kyalami, taken from this year actually. I don't know what this racetrack could bring to the F1. It looks like it's kind of not very long. The overtaking opportunities are kind of inexistent. Lots of fast corners. I don't know. It doesn't look very appealing for the modern F1 calendar. However, it would be amazing to have a racetrack in South Africa to bring and have new cultures in it. There's also rumors that F1 is trying to expand. They want to have another race in Asia, somewhere like Indonesia, maybe bring back Malaysia, which would be really cool. That racetrack is really cool. The one in Sepang, Indonesia, perhaps are building a new racetrack and they want to have it there, or use the one that they used for MotoGP, for example, in Mandalika. We don't know yet. They also have been trying to bring Argentina back to the calendar, maybe Colombia. So the F1 are trying to bring new races, not just in the USA, where they want to add another one somewhere else. But yeah, who would be the damned or sacrificed Grand Prix in case this really happens? The European ones for sure. You have Monaco, that is kind of on the edge, dancing. You have Italy, for example, like Monza was kind of in danger lately due to the high costs that it requires to be in the F1 calendar. I hope they don't take back out Spa, because they also have quite a big problems, which is the most spectacular racetrack in the calendar. Spain, if I would be okay if they take it out, same as Budapest. But anyway, these are just talking for now. The one that is kind of mostly to be confirmed, it's the South African one. So let's see how things go. China probably will come back after the COVID-0 thing is off. Russia apparently is not gonna come back anytime soon. So there will be some changes in the present future, either for next year or the future 2024, 26, when the new engine regulation will come in. Things are happening and moving. Adrian Newey made some statements that he's concerned of how the F1 is taking the development into heavier, more bulky cars, and according to him, this is the real reason why the cars are a little bit more difficult to handle and to overtake. It should be lighter, smaller, more energy efficient, not just make it heavier. Heavier also means that you have to make it stronger because the impacts are going to be at a higher speed with higher energies. If you can see as well here in the data, there is F1 cars used to be like 600 kilograms ish, more or less, a little bit more, but anyway, 625 ish. Now they are more than 800 kilograms. It's 200 kilograms more, which in theory, according to him, and he is one of the gurus, one of the best designing engineers of the F1 history. If he says it, there must be a reason why. Anyway, young drivers at the free practices. There has been some criticism about this as well. In Barcelona, we saw 3 drivers, the one in the picture, Yuri Vips. We saw also Nick De Vries driving for Williams, and Robert Kubica was not young. But anyway, the reason why, apart from taking the time from the provisional or the official drivers, is that in theory, in 1 hour of free practice, they don't really gain anything. It's like the first time they are trying to be in the car, try to know the car. However, in the meantime, the team also has to test stuff. It's very easy to make mistakes because there's a lot of people around them, there's a lot of cameras, there's a lot of pressure on them. Very easy to make mistakes. What does this mean? That if you make a mistake, you break the car or something like this. F1 doesn't forgive and doesn't forget. So it's very easy to destroy a career like this. And also in 1 hour, you don't actually have anything to gain from that. There should be more testing, perhaps like there is at the end of the season for rookies like Fernando Alonso. Oh, sorry. No, I forgot. But like for young drivers where they have like 2-3 days of testing just for them all day long. They have like 4 or 5 hours in the morning, 4 or 5 hours in the afternoon, when they can actually learn something from the car. These statements come from, for example, George Russell, who he has been in that position before. About this also, there's news that new drivers will be joining for the FP free practice. Usually it's FP1. Nick De Vries will be joining Mercedes. They didn't specify which Grand Prix. Yuri Vips probably will be driving as well. If it's not him, it's going to be Liam Lawson for the Red Bull or for the AlphaTauri teams, and the other ones, Piastri and all these ones, are going to be doing the same thing for Alpine or Williams in other cases. Daniel Ricciardo, Zach Brown from McLaren has made it public and open to the people that they are quite disappointed with Daniel Ricciardo's performance in F1 with them so far. They signed him after he was very successful in Red Bull, of course, and in Renault, now Alpine. He was doing a very good performance with the cars. They signed him for these reasons, and so far he has not been able to adapt to the car like Lando Norris has done, for example. So they are very disappointed with this, and they say they are not going to renew him probably if he continues like this. One thing is that his contract ends next year. Will they continue with him another year like this? If he doesn't improve, most likely, as I said in previous videos of silly season, is that he is not going to continue in McLaren next year. He will probably join another team, perhaps going back to AlphaTauri. If Sergio Perez, after the Grand Prix of Barcelona, he's kind of angry with Red Bull, will he really take the decision to leave the team, being in one of the best cars, just because he's the number 2 driver? Perhaps if Sergio Perez leaves, Daniel Ricciardo could join Red Bull once again. These are just ideas that nothing is confirmed. Usually these things start to confirm around Budapest at the mid-season of the F1 calendar. Another good thing and news that are coming for ahead of the Monaco Grand Prix is that the Alfa Romeo looks like could be one of the surprises for the race. If you check the data for the race of Barcelona, you could see, like for example in the qualifying, in the last corners, in the most tricky scalestric, whatever that thing was, the slowest corners of the racetrack, the fastest car at points was Valtteri Bottas. The Alfa Romeo is one of the best cars in slow corners, and Monaco is full of them. What does this mean? That the Alfa Romeo could very, very well be the surprise of the Grand Prix. Maybe they can be ahead of Mercedes. Maybe they can be battling with the Red Bulls and the Ferraris. It could be. If they have a podium chance, for sure it's going to be in Monte Carlo, unless something unexpected happens. And now, silly season rumors. Sebastian Vettel from Germany. There's more voices. Ralf Schumacher and other journalists and ex-drivers are saying that he is kind of disappointed with Aston Martin's direction, how the management is being done. He was not expecting this perhaps when he signed, and he was expecting much greater things for this new 2022 season. This is why there's a big suggestion that he is going to be leaving the F1 at the end of this year and retiring. He will not renew a contract. This leads to an opening seat in the Aston Martin. Seeing where the car is right now, it's not a very liked seat for other drivers, but the one who is most likely to land there, according to the last things, is this guy, Fernando Alonso. Well, the guy in the Alpine. He has been rumored that he might be looking at other options than Alpine, that maybe he is the one who doesn't want to sign with Alpine for the extension due to him realizing that perhaps he only has 2 or 3 extra seasons in F1. And Alpine are a very slow progressing team that perhaps they want to win in 2-3 seasons. Alonso doesn't have the time. So he might be looking for other options. Aston Martin, as I mentioned, it doesn't look like it's going to be one of the options. However, Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes, which are the big 3 right now, are not even close to being interested in him. Horner already said that he's a good driver, but he doesn't want him. Ferrari doesn't want him back. They have a good pair. And even if Hamilton, for example, retires, Mercedes will go for De Vries, not for Fernando Alonso. So this is one of the things that is starting to be confirmed. From Spain, the broadcaster Lobato, which he is very close to Fernando Alonso, or used to be. Even he and Pedro de la Rosa, the ex-teammate from Fernando Alonso in Ferrari and McLaren, for example, they are already starting to say that it looks like Alonso will not be in Alpine next year, not just because he doesn't want to be, also because, as I mentioned here, Luca De Meo, when they the CEO of Alpine and Renault was asked this weekend about it, he didn't confirm or anything. What the statement said is that they have 3 drivers, and let's remember that Ocon has a contract for next year and 2024, if I'm not mistaken. They will have to choose 2, and not everybody is going to be pleased. So it looks like not just that Alonso doesn't want to be in Alpine, it looks like Alpine is also considering that Alonso is not the solution for the long-term plan that they have. Piastri, which is the new talent of the F2, the last champion, would be the solution to take, putting him in the car, starting to get to know the car, and they would have a good pair of drivers. So it looks like Alpine and Alonso will be parting ways. So these are the things so far for today, Wednesday. So should Alonso leave Alpine and try his luck in Aston Martin, or should Alpine get rid of him and try with Piastri? Should Vettel retire from the season? Kielami, is it a good racetrack to bring back to the F1? Should the young drivers not be in the Fridays anymore and maybe have in the mid-season another young testing thing? In Budapest they used to have it before in the mid-season. Should the teams have a bigger budget for the season due to this world crisis because of the war and the COVID and all these things? If you watch this, leave your comments on the comment section down below in the YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, please help, and I will be try to post this kind of silly season and news every Wednesday of Grand Prix. Remember, this weekend we have the Monaco Grand Prix. Free practice on Fridays, not on Thursdays. They changed that useless thing. It's gonna be on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Remember, Alfa Romeo could be the surprise. If you want to win some money by betting, that could be the place to go for the surprise. And with that, take it easy and see you on Friday.